Man, I knew KONY 2012 and Invisible Children was a scam from day one, but it has even blown me away. Now, the main man behind it, they one Jason Russell, who you've seen all over the videos, the one trotting his kids out and all the rest of it and saying, "Where's that bad man?" They go, "That's him. That's right, as bad as Hitler." That guy, Mr. Fruitbox, Mr. King of the Fruitcakes, Mr. Something's wrong with him, obviously, as I've been saying on air the last week and a half, like some kind of demonic Mr. Rogers. He has been arrested, reportedly, in San Diego for masturbating in public in his underwear. This went on for a while before the police got there, allegedly, but he's now been put in the hospital, and vandalizing cars, amongst other things. Okay? Now, this is a guy who wants you to back a military invasion of Central Africa, Uganda, for a guy who hadn't been seen in almost 6 years. And oh, by the way, the Ugandans have been rioting when they see the film. Countrywide, saying this is pure bull. KONY has not been an issue in over 5 years. This is an excuse to invade our country. I've been having Ugandans on, and they're like, "Our president is backed by your government. He's killing us." Millions of Ugandans. See, I happen to know about each African country. I happen to research it. I happen to be obsessed with information. And it doesn't mean I know a lot. I know how little I know. But compared to the general public, I'm light years ahead. I happen to interview top professors and geopolitical scientists on the issue of Uganda and the Congo-wide wars and what spilt into Rwanda back in the 90s and the UN conducting genocide. So I knew that the president, 26-year dictator, who replaced Idi Amin 26 years ago, had been connected to genocides of millions, and that the Ugandans hate him. So, of course, when they see some guy prancing around saying, "Let's do something to fight KONY," they're like, "KONY isn't our problem. He was some little fighter off in the jungle." KONY isn't the issue here. The issue is the dictator president backed by corrupt interest in the West that wants to have a U.S. invasion force and NATO invasion force and AFRICOM invasion force come in and kick more people off their land. It's all over the news. The UN is there forcing people off their land and killing them when they don't leave. And that's why I got mad at Angelina Jolie and now George Clooney saying do something, and go into this country, being staged at an arrest today at the Sudanese embassy. They're getting ready for the full rollout of war over there. That's what this is AFRICOM. It's all in the plans. It's all in the White House documents back to Bush. Look, let me tell you, ignorant, mainline, liberal, trendy something. When George W. Bush is endorsing something, you better damn well know it's bad news. Just a little memo to you about all this. WMDs in Iraq, Libyan rape gangs, turned out that wasn't true. You like how Libya's been wrecked now? I don't claim to be some bleeding heart who feeds the African children, even though I do give money to real charities that get over 90+% to the kids. Oh, I do. In the Philippines, and I give money to African charities. I give money to other charities. I've never talked about that. But now I am here. I actually do research to make sure my money actually goes to help people. Oh, but no, we're going to get behind KONY 2012 that the whole globalist media endorsed and got 100 million plus views and all this. You can tell when the whole corrupt system's behind something. And you can tell when you have the research about Africa what's really going on. And now, look at this guy. Look at him. This guy. I mean, that is the definition of a fake trendy who is selling this war propaganda. He may be a useful idiot. And I mean, if this image right here is not the definition of narcissism, I don't know what is. And obviously, he probably couldn't handle it. And if I had to profile him, he probably had a breakdown. And over the fact that they've had to remove their comments, most people are against him now. Yeah, it's coming out. They're keeping the lion's share of the money, like Bono, who keeps 99%, as has been reported, of the money they get for Africans. Africa is a big business, and these guys reportedly keep over 70%. So the bigger they are, the faster they explode, the harder they fall. And I would guess that he's probably had a nervous breakdown. I mean, obviously, somebody that acts like this is not very prone to criticism. Here we go.
The entire year of 2012 is going to be about KONY and making sure people know his infamy, know that he is the world's worst. Adolf Hitler, Osama bin Laden, Joseph Kony. If we can start with the worst, then we win.
619-562-2799. 619-562-2799.
Again, knowing that this guy's had a nervous breakdown now or whatever he had makes me feel sorry for him. Maybe they are just useful idiots, but why did they choose some guy that hadn't been seen in almost 6 years? Why is there all this State Department backing? Why is George Soros endorsing it? Undoubtedly, the system is using this as a pretext to say, hey, Cold War is over, we have bin Laden. 10 years later, oh, bin Laden's supposedly gone now. Now we've got Joseph Kony. And the whole system seized on this. The good news is it's totally blowing up in the establishment's face. And the KONY 2012 movement is in flames because the alternative media is powerful now. This thing rose fast, but because it was based in lies, it got analyzed by millions of people, not just in the U.S., but all over the world, and it imploded. And now, my criticism of a week ago seems tame compared to the facts that have come out on this. And people said to me, are you serious about wanting to have Angelina Jolie arrested for war crimes? Because she's out promoting all this as well. And that was the minority of people. Over 95% of the comments and the likes on the videos and the comments on my own site, Infowars.com, understood that, yeah, she works for the UN. She's promoting the Libyan attack as humanitarian. She's promoting all these other wars in Syria and now in Uganda. Yeah, she's a war criminal. She's like Joseph Goebbels promoting a lie. She is guilty. But the 5% was like, yeah, I know it's propaganda, but arrest her? Look, if she's calling for people like KONY to be arrested, it's time to point out, hey, you're causing war and death as well. How about you get arrested? It's time, just because somebody tells you they're a peacenik, like George Clooney or others, that you actually analyze who's funding them and who's behind them. I've looked at Clooney, State Department all over it. Maybe George Clooney doesn't know. He needs to be educated and informed. None of this is about humanitarian efforts for Africa, the Middle East, you name it. It's about global corporations that use American and European muscle to go in and dominate and take over areas. And it's on record under State Department Memorandum 200 that the U.S. government policy towards Africa is deindustrialization, destabilization, and depopulation. Go look it up. We'll post it in the link underneath this video here. Find out that the facts are there and are available. And don't just blindly follow some people that are selling you a bill of goods about how they want to protect some children. That is always a big red flag. And it's always a big red flag in Russia and also in Nazi Germany. And now with FEMA announcing a youth corps in our communities, that civilian security force Obama talked about, that the government is targeting school kids with things like this KONY 2012 thing to have kids demand their parents and others give money to this State Department-backed initiative. The globalists are trying to control social media. They're trying to take over the internet. They're trying to use that people power to push their agendas. The system, as the White House regulations are said a few years ago, has lost all credibility. So Cass Sunstein said, infiltrate the internet, pose as conspiracy theorists, those that question the system. That's what conspiracy theorist now means. And infiltrate them and put out disinfo to discredit them. But also put out your own messages that you want to push because it has more credibility through the alternative media. And undoubtedly that's what KONY 2012 has become. But what I'm going to do next week is go through an index of research we've done and post links to real charities that are actually giving 90+% of the money and resources to the countries and poor people they're trying to help. All right, well, this is my quick video on this subject. I hope that you'll get it out to everybody, and I hope that you'll also expose the fact that the head guy over at the KONY 2012 movement is so unstable. He's been arrested for vandalizing cars and running around and masturbating, amongst other things I can't mention here in family company. We'll see you on the radio and at Infowars.com.